Hello, and welcome to the Lanterns edition of the Ohio State Football Preview. I'm Brian Nelson.
And I'm Khalid. Now let's take a look at what the Buckeyes can expect going into Week 13 against Penn State. Ohio State remains at number 2 in the college football playoff rankings this week after defeating Rutgers 56-21. And this Saturday, the Buckeyes will welcome Penn State to Columbus as they face off in their first top 10 matchup of the season. The Buckeyes starters only played one half against Rutgers after taking a 42-7 lead 2 minutes into the third quarter. Quarterback Justin Fields led the team with his highest passing performance of the season with 305 yards and 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Chris Olave had himself a career-high game as he recorded 139 yards on 4 catches. Benjamin Victor also led the receivers as he found the end zone twice, recording 68 yards on 5 catches. The Buckeyes never really got the running game going against Rutgers, but it wasn't really an emphasis as Ryan Day pulled J.K. Dobbins out early into the game after he racked up 89 yards and 2 touchdowns on 17 carries. Overall, the Buckeyes' biggest achievement was leaving the Rutgers game with no major injuries as they enter the toughest stretch of their schedule.
The Buckeyes showcased their strength early on against Rutgers. Redshirt sophomore cornerback Shaun Wade first intercepted the pass on the second play of the Scarlet Knights' first drive. Then, on the following drive for Rutgers, he forced a fumble and gave the ball back to Ohio State. Both turnovers resulted in quick scores that put the Buckeyes in complete control early on. Much like the offense, the starters on defense only played in the first half against the Scarlet Knights. With the second and third string playing, Rutgers was able to find some success on offense, but due to being down 28 points at halftime, the game was well under wraps. Other star defensive performances came from linebackers Malik Harrison, Kayvon Pope, and Tuff Borland, who all recorded 6 tackles on Saturday. Now, focus shifts for the Buckeyes to face off against number 8 Penn State, along with the return of star defensive end Chase Young from his suspension.
With number 8 Penn State coming to Columbus this Saturday, Ohio Stadium will have company as ESPN's College Game Day, Fox Big Noon, and the Big Ten Network will all be in attendance covering the big game. Penn State will be led by 6th-year head coach James Franklin, who has done a great job leading the Penn State football program back into national relevance. At quarterback, Penn State will lean on sophomore Sean Clifford, who has done a great job throwing for 2,450 yards and 22 touchdowns. Clifford hopes to have his biggest weapon in wide receiver KJ Hamler, as Hamler has been dealing with a head injury as he left the Indiana game early in the first quarter. Hamler led the team with 791 yards and 8 touchdowns while averaging 17 yards per catch. Hamler went off in last year's game as he caught 4 passes for 138 yards and 1 touchdown. His lone touchdown went for 93 yards against Ohio State defensive back Shaun Wade. Hamler caught an 8-yard pass and took it the distance. Wade will have his chance at revenge as the two will likely match up in this Saturday's big showdown.
Much of the strength for the Nittany Lions comes from their strong defense. They rank 17th in the country in total defense and are giving up an average of 316 yards per game. The front 7 and the rushing defense is Penn State's bread and butter. They give up an average of only 76 yards per game, which ranks them 4th in the nation. Defensive ends junior return Gross-Matos and redshirt junior Shaka Toney are weapons that Ohio State needs to watch out for. They both have 6 or more sacks on the season and are a large reason for why opposing teams have not had success running the ball. However, where Ohio State might find a weakness is with the secondary and Penn State's passing defense. In complete contrast to their running defense, Penn State is giving up an average of 240 passing yards per game. This ranks their passing defense at 84th, and with the many weapons at wide receiver and the versatility of Justin Fields, it could be the difference maker between victory or defeat for Ohio State. Ohio State leads the all-time series against Penn State 19-14. Recently, games have been extremely close and have often decided the outcome of the Big Ten East Division. The last 3 matchups have been decided by a total of 5 points, with the last 2 contests being comeback victories by the Buckeyes to snag 1-point wins. Saturday's game will continue the trend of deciding who represents the East Division in the Big Ten Conference Championship and has major college football playoff implications for the 2 highest-ranked Big Ten teams currently.
The Buckeyes kick off against Penn State this Saturday at noon in Columbus. To stay updated on all things Ohio State, follow the Lantern and Lantern TV on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm Khalid.
And I'm Brian Nelson. And thanks for watching Lantern TV.